It's just the server resetting. Okay, guys, so let's go to do something else. Let's use this time in a valuable way. Sorry, microphone. Did you hear that? Should I play versus the HikaruBot? I can play HikaruBot. I can show him some good things.
That's what she said.
He's a top player, not a top streamer. Okay, my friend Hikaru. So, let's get started. So, ladies and gentlemen, good luck. Try to keep up. Okay, bro. No, let's play full. Let's see, what he plays versus... He plays E45, interesting, yeah. Do you really play the Berlin? Oh my god. Okay, no problem. I know all the theory here until the last move.
A few moments later.
I'm not losing a piece! Because if P5, I take... Let's play again. You're not missing anything. Yeah. Why do you play B3, Karu? It's a bad move. Did I lose a pawn in the opening? This is all theory. Okay, let's try to rematch him. Okay. What? Just because I studied, eh, Karu? I study and you change. You are scared. You are a chicken bot.
I literally don't care.
You play bad openings, I also play bad openings. But at least I have the center. You have a pair of nothing.
Wait a minute!
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Yes, Nikola and Alessia versus the bot. Yeah, that would be fun. But Nikola is not considered cheating if I use your power. So if you can try to defeat HikaruBot.
You can hear me, right?
Yes, Nikola.
Alright. We don't have a clock to deal with.
No, we have no clock to deal with. So this is the analysis of the game I won versus Hikaru. I've got the help of Nikola, a player rated around 2000, which is super strong in the opening, and he helped me really until we were out of book. E4, C5, he went for very sharp line, Sicilian with D6, and after D4, he chose the dragon with G6. We went for the very main line with long castle, with idea to attack the king, with opposite side castling, and now we go in the very main line with D5, opening up the center, and we went with a move that is not the most played move, but is very strong. Queen to E1. Now Hikaru went already out of book. Here there are lots of possibility for black. He went with bishop B7, which as you can see is a slight mistake because he's leaving this pawn hanging on D5. We took the pawn, we were very happy, and after knight b4 trying to recapture the pawn, we protected it with the bishop on c4. After rook c8 attacking the bishop goes just back. After a5 with the idea of attacking this bishop one more time, we played the move a3, giving an extra square to the bishop and attacking the knight. The knight went back, and now this is the critical moment because we made a brilliant move. It was not easy to find it, but once we saw the move, it was so powerful. Knight to e6, you are hanging a knight. The full idea is that after f-take, we take back with the pawn, and now this bishop is pinned because there is a queen and a rook looking at both pieces. So actually this was very powerful. Also, look at the bishop looking at the king, this rook here. I mean, this is very dangerous for black. That's why HikaruBot, after this move, went for queen e8, and finally we are in exchange up. We couldn't believe that. That was insane. But still, it was so hard to win this game. Now we improved the bishop, and after b5, there are some exchange. After knight e4, exchange the bishop, and now we have this more or less middle to end game where we are a full exchange up. Queen g7 attacking the rook, queen e3 protecting, knight attacking the bishop, we go back, we don't want to give that bishop. Queen to e5, and now we had to find a way to bring this rook into the action. The problem is that the queen is looking at the pawn on a2. Here we found a move which is not perfect, but was interesting. But then we understood that was not really great, because loses the advantage. We wanted to be creative, so we wanted to go with the move d6, opening up this bishop, pointing at this pawn, and after e-take, we wanted to go with the rook on d1, attacking this pawn and saying, we activate the whole army, we should be fine, we don't care about giving up that pawn. The problem is that here there is bishop g4 attacking the rook, and now the rook has to leave the d file. This doesn't look too good. So we went on f1 attacking this pawn, and then bishop e6. We exchange another minor pieces, and now we have the knight versus the rook. Here we felt good because maybe we might take back the pawn. But first of all, we wanted to solve the problem with the king. So king b1, so that we avoid all the potential check with the knight. Now the position got very sharp. f5, according to the engine, that's not a good move. But now we need to be very, very careful. We played rook d1, we didn't care about losing this pawn because we want to take on d6. And now we have another brilliant move incoming. We calculate this already because after knight take e4, we have a great move. Boom! Rook take d6 with the idea that the knight can't take the rook because this queen is hanging. Now we are attacking the queen and our rooks are very active. We are even threatening rook d8, exchanging the rooks, and then look at this king is really exposed. Queen e8, trying to avoid the exchange of the rooks. Now our rook is hanging and we give a check, king moves, and now rook on the 7th rank. Idea of queen a7 and giving mate. So this looks really, really good. And Hikaru found the move knight f6, attacking our rook. We move the rook to a7, attacking also this pawn. And now queen to e4. With the idea that if we move the queen, this pawn is hanging. Now we thought for a very long time here, we thought at many moves, until we found a way to go into an endgame, to exchange the queen and to end all the trouble for us. Queen to f7. It seems like, what? The pawn on c2 is now hanging, but we calculated that after queen takes c2, king a2, there are no checks anymore, and we are threatening mate and to capture the knight. So the only move for black here is queen c4 check, and after queen takes, pawn take, we take also the pawn on a5. Now we are an exchange up and we have a pass pawn. So this should be winning, it's just matter of technique. And now, okay, we had the right technique. Let's see a bit how it goes. We are starting to push the pawn, get that pawn, very dangerous. And now Hikaru is trying to stop it. We bring the king. We attacked a pawn with the other rook. There is a check. We have to go back. Hikaru is putting some resistance. And now we had to find some good maneuver because it's not easy to go on. And so we had to bring the king to the other side. And now we played a very strong move, b3, exchanging this pawn, actually winning that pawn, I think. And then we can finally use the two rooks to promote. Rook a3, we took the pawn, knight here, and now we just found a way to promote this pawn. The idea of knight e4 is to bring the knight to c5, attacking this pawn and capturing the pawn. We don't want to let it happen, and so we went with king b2, attacking the rook, improving the king, avoiding all the checks with the knight. The rook has to move, rook a4, and now rook a8. We want to push the pawn. The bot here, I think, was already hopeless. H5, we push the pawn, and now we are promoting. H4, we just brought the rook towards a3. Check, rook there. We move the king to a1. No checks are available with the knight, and now we are promoting. After Hikaru took there, rook b1, I was so happy because we are really promoting the pawn. Check, rook back, we promote, we exchange the rooks. We are an exchange up and the rook up. This should be just totally winning. We attack the pawn on g6, the last desperate move, trying to promote that pawn. We went with a very cool move, rook g8, just because we want to take here, and then also the pawn on g2. It took, we take all the pawn, and now we just want to remove the final piece. It's actually a brilliant move, let's appreciate it. It's just easily closing the game, and after king take d2, boom, attacking the pawn, taking the pawn. And now Hikaru wanted to see if we could give mate with a queen and the rook, and I think I know how to do it, but if you don't know, just get a refresh how to give mate with a queen and the rook. That was it. We beat Hikaru. I beat Hikaru. I'm so happy. Well, it was very hard. If you see at the review here, it was 90% accuracy game, and to beat Hikaru you need to make 3 brilliant moves, 1 great move, and you just can make maximum 1 mistake. If not, the bot is bouncing back. This game was stress, was intense, but the result is amazing.